Conduct risk remains at the forefront of the FCA's thinking, as evidenced by the recently issued FCA Business Plan for 2018-2019. A specific area of conduct risk that is under real focus and high on the regulatory agenda is how firms manage their third-party relationships, particularly where the third party is directly involved with determining customer outcomes, such as intermediaries. The focus is all on providers of products and services, where they rely on third parties to distribute these to the end customer. The interaction of all parties, providers and distributors, in the fair treatment of customers should be a focus of attention, and meeting regulatory expectations and minimising the risk of poor customer outcomes and negative reputational risk is key. Whilst reliance on other firms, particularly those who are regulated themselves, is permissible, FCA's focus is on the governance arrangements in place to manage activities and the impact on customers. It's critical that the customer receives a fair outcome, irrespective of the provider's operational arrangements or the numbers of firms involved in the customer journey. This journey begins with the product design and then leads on to the target market the product is aimed at, the approach to sales and marketing, and the specific channels employed, the ongoing approach to customer servicing and delivering on promises, and then what happens if something does go wrong, how complaints, cancellations, or claims are dealt with. These regulatory expectations date back to the Treating Customers Fairly initiative in 2006, and in particular in 2007, when the FSA's document The Responsibility of Providers and Distributors in the Fair Treatment of Customers, the RPPD, was issued. This document's importance is underlined by the fact that the FCA has reissued it as a regulatory guide. Responsibility and accountability cannot be outsourced. The senior managers and certification regime has brought sharp focus to this very point. Banks and building societies have lived with the regime for the past 2 years, and during 2019, approximately 47,000 regulated firms will also become part of the regime. Over the past 2 years, we've seen firms giving significantly more attention to their third-party relationships, where a senior manager may have overall responsibility for, say, distribution, and wants to get greater comfort that the systems and controls the firm has in place are fit for purpose. Governance and control of third parties can help prevent conduct failings, and putting in place a governance framework can support this. The framework sets out the high-level approach a firm can take involving the lengths they expect to go to when taking on a new distributor or as part of an annual review. This will seek to do more than a check of the FCA register, but can try to establish the distributor's regulatory culture, the governance they have implemented over their customer interactions, such as their advice process, remuneration and incentives, the suitability and appropriateness of advice. Although the provider is not responsible for the advice, firms may be impacted by poor or inappropriate advice provided by intermediaries. Conducting thorough due diligence before entering a new relationship and ongoing monitoring throughout the length of the relationship, as well as an exit strategy, are vital. Agreeing what management information you will use or receive in relation to intermediaries. This may involve data, for instance, around advisor turnover and onboarding, customer complaints, results from any monitoring or thematic reviews or site visits you have undertaken, and any risk assessments you've performed over your third-party cohort. What could the outcomes be on customers? Remediation programs which could be significant if the issues are systemic. These are some of the risks that will be swept up into the wider governance aspect of a firm. How easy it is to assume that long-standing relationships are working simply because they are long-standing. There is likely to be more risk that goes unchallenged on legacy relationships and service provision than new ones, which could well have been subject to a more rigorous selection and audit process. Please remember, the customer will see the third party as an extension to their relationship with you.